guys? It's your boy Dunk. So far, I've been getting a lot of questions about relationships. So it's kind of a relief that this question here more talks about lifestyle. So this question was asked to me by a classmate, in which he says he wants to wonder, like, why do people join gangs and etc. Or like, what's your experience in gangs, etc. Like that. Like, why be part of something that you know doesn't really have a future to it? And he's he's not from the urban areas. He's never had to worry about bullets flying across his head. He's never had to worry about that kind of stuff. So I want to dive into it first with personal experience. Growing up, the people I had, my friends especially, they, as time went on, joined gangs. Okay, and normally these gangs were street gangs. You lived on a certain street, you joined that street's gang, or etc. But sometimes I saw people join other streets gangs because their friends were part of that gang. Now, I've seen like a lot of like documentaries and etc. where they talk about children join gangs because they don't have a positive male role model or a male role model in general, because the male role models are in jail and stuff like that. Honestly though, some of those that I know had probably the ideal father, the one that's always there, always supports you, but it's tough when times get hard, like they will really call you on your shit. In my honest opinion, I feel most join gangs not because of their home situations. I feel like they join gangs simply based off peer pressure or wanting more power, appearing weak. Okay. This can stem from a lot of things. All your friends are in a gang, let me join it. You probably got bullied into one. You probably saw a lot on TV and thought, oh, I could live that lifestyle. You probably had nothing. You're probably getting picked on and stuff, and you figured I need backup. It's truly sad for the gang life that you literally sign up knowing things can go wrong horribly fast. But what I feel people don't get is, if you live by the gun, you die by the gun. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And that falls into people who are willing to kill but not to be killed. I've seen gangs destroy the streets, especially around Dorchester. And that's, of course, where I'm from. That led to, of course, my upbringing being more isolated because they had a fear of a bullet hitting me. Accidentally, of course, because I never had really bad enemies. Most of the time, I was actually friends with those who were gangbangers or etc. But the thing is, when you sign up for a gang, you basically sign up anybody you're close to. Okay? By that, I mean this. You're part of a gang. It's now known you're part of a certain gang. A rival gang member sees you. Okay? Now, you could have been relaxing all day, probably walked with your friend to McDonald's or something. Here comes the rival gang. They're coming up. They see you. They see your friend. They probably think your friend part of your gang as well. They start unloading on you, and I mean, you're alive. You look down and your friends are dead. It truly sucks that things like this happen, but it's not all the kids' fault. Anybody who signs up young, it's not really their fault because you haven't really matured into knowing all consequences. The gang life is meant for solidarity. The original idea of gangs, especially like how the Bloods and Crips really started, it was just based off solidarity, just looking out for your neighborhood. It wasn't about going into another neighborhood to kill people off and stuff. No, it's just about protecting yours and your own. That's protection. But as time went on, people started looking more for power and etc. And it sucks that it got this way. Now you see those who are quote unquote brothers or the occasional sister. And you know, of course they're making Facebook posts and all that. I would kill for such and such, such and such. But when it comes down to kill somebody for that person, most of them don't even pull the trigger. Most of them actually try to get out of their life before they can actually kill somebody. You know, others just want to have a gun and never shoot it. It really is sad that this happens, and it's sad that it continues to happen. Now, I've seen a couple OGs in my life, and they've never told anybody to join. They never, from what I've seen, they never wanted any young ones to join their gangs. They often said, listen, go to school, get an education, get out of here. I always see like OGs do that. But when it comes to like the teenage members, young adult members, they never do that. They pipe up the gang in which they say, this is what we bring to the table. If you want a piece, you got it. You got show for it. Then we end up with mothers losing their children for the streets. A street that they don't even own. Let me tell you this. If the government wanted to right now, the government said, you know what, I'm gonna evict you out your house. Like they just kicked everybody on that street out their house, right? Is it still your street? Are you still putting your life on the line for it, or are you moving, trying to make another street, you know, yours? That's not really yours. You guys, in general, die for something that does not belong to you. Territory that does not belong to you, shouldn't belong to you. Innocents killed because you can't hit a target. Now, this is not a challenge, okay, to say, yo, you can't hit targets. But I'm saying, if you're in a drive-by and all you do is spray, you're not really going to hit the person you're aiming for because you're spraying. Most of the time, you guys don't hit the person. Most of the time, you hit the child who's behind, you hit the guy who's sitting on the porch smoking a cigarette. It's truly sad that this happens. Now, a lot of it can be linked to missing father figure, missing role figure. But I feel like a lot of it is through peer pressure or lack of power and wanting power. At the end of the day, parents have to realize this. Kids make choices off their friends if they aren't as happy as at home. I'm saying this by this. If you have a happy life and you're in a happy home, and being home makes you more happy than like doing what your friends are doing, you're not gonna follow your friends. However, if being with your friends is way more better than being at home, you're gonna start to see a shift into how your friends are doing what your friends are doing. Which is why oftentimes people complain about a kid who would never do this and that because of how they are in their home life, but that's not the same as how they are when they go out. We all know this. I act completely different in front of my parents than I would my own friends. I would cuss up a storm, you know, I'd play fight, get angry, you know, all that stuff. I'd go crazy sometimes. My parents or any adult figure or authority, I'm probably the most calm, collective guy you'll ever know. You know, people got their crazy side and their sane side. That's how we are. We have a switch. But if you have more fun and you care more about your life with friends than you do your life at home, you start to see a shift into what you prioritize. For example, to me, weed isn't bad. Okay, weed is practically healthy. Now, smoke itself is not, of course. But weed is of earth. It's natural. But you don't have to, have it in your body. Now, say your parents are kind of strict. It's a happy home, you don't really have any real troubles, but your parents are strict. While with your friends, you're more free. You're going to start to shift over to the free side, in which if your friends are smoking, you most likely will end up smoking. And those friends aren't going to tell you it's a bad idea or anything, because they're hyping up your bad decisions. You guys have to realize, when you sign up for a gang, you are signing up for solidarity, but you're also signing up that you may not live past a certain age. Of course, we all want to live a long, free, happy life. Joining one of those gangs is gonna send you somewhere else. And some of those gangs is, once you in it, you're never out. Because you may want to leave, but then rival gang don't know you out. Hell, he don't care that you out. He was once part of the gang he hates. Now you're gone. You wanted to walk away before it was too late, but it was already too late once you signed up and made it known. It sucks, and I really want to see it come to an end. I really want to see no gang violence at all. But we don't live in a world where everybody has peace of mind and common sense. Okay, that's more rare than we believe. We live in a world where people determine everything through power. The power doesn't always equal respect. Power doesn't always equal rationale. Power is just power, but then that's it. That's how the world we live. We live in a world of power. We start wars because we wanted to prevent one. See the whole point of that? We really start wars in order to prevent wars. That's the world. It doesn't have to be that way though, because we're all human. Nobody's life is more valuable than another. So I shouldn't be taking your life. You should not be taking mine, unless you're willing to take your own as well. However, you did not create me, so you should not be able to destroy me. I really want this violence to come to an end. I really want the youth to more go into friends and positivity than gang violence, murder, violence, and all this other stuff. I can only dream of this world. Maybe we can make it reality one day, but I don't know about soon. Anyways, I kind of enjoyed this topic because I've seen so many friends lose their lives to gang violence, especially in the summers when it gets hot and nobody has any right of mind. So, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for all your support so far. I'm doing a lot better than I expected. I really thank you guys. And this is done, and I'm out.